Hey everybody, welcome to longevity video series number 7, and today we're going to be talking about one of our new favorite tools, the infrared sauna. And let's back up a little bit. We've talked a lot about a lot of great things. We've talked about the fasting principle, talked about energy diversion. We're going to dive in that a little bit more today. We talked about breath work. We talked about why longevity. And I just want to dial it back again into why longevity for a moment, because here's the thing, there's four major killers, as Dave Asprey talks about them too. There's diabetes, there's cardiovascular disease, there is Alzheimer's and dementia, and then there's cancer. And there's definitely other illnesses that show up there. Mental health is up there as far as illnesses that are requiring medications and antidepressants and benzodiazepines, all sorts of other things that stabilize mood or do things to change the mood setting inside the brain. And all of that is really important, and most of these things are preventable illnesses. So if we're going to talk about longevity, we have to talk about the reality that also as part of the aging process is we can stop the way that the body ages and stop the way the body gets illnesses. And because most of these are preventative, we have to look at our lifestyles as a way to optimize our cellular healing, cellular health, and upgrade our body's ability to handle these stressors. Because at the end of the day, most of us are not going to die of old age, according to the statistics. Most of us are going to die because of some of these bigger killers. So what can we do to make our bodies more resilient, stronger, and then tap into these longevity aspects to healing, so that we don't have to fight all these illnesses. We can actually change the way our body ages. Because as I discussed before, this is really more about treating aging as opposed to treating illness. So how do we tap into the body's ability to actually slow down that process? So one of our favorite tools is the sauna. We've done sauna many times in the past, but we've never had one in our home. We've never had space in our home. So now we've got one in our home. It's in our bedroom. It's a quick dash to the shower, which is great. And here's the thing. Exposing your body to these variations in temperature have a huge benefit in the body. Obviously, you feel great coming out, so emotionally you're feeling good. You're getting sweat going, so it's helping the detoxification process. And if you've got an infrared sauna, you're also getting that deeper penetration down into the bone, down into the cells, and it's driving a deeper mitochondrial reaction for detoxification, elimination, and blood flow, and increasing cardiovascular supply, lymphatic system. I mean, a lot of things are happening when you heat your body up like that. Obviously, exercise is another great way to heat up the body. Sauna is just doing it a different way. It's a little more passive. And you can sort of hack and jumpstart your exercise a little bit more by hitting the gym or whatever your workout is, and then jumping in the sauna afterwards. Now, according to the research on saunas, there's a certain protein called heat shock protein which gets released in response to this high temperature. Now, heat shock protein do a lot of different things. One of the cool things they do is they help your DNA to properly fold, which means that they're going to be activating the health aspects of our body as opposed to the inflammatory aspects of our body. As we said before, one of the main drivers for all these major illnesses is this chronic state of inflammation. So upregulating these heat shock proteins also activate your immune system. They increase hormone activity. They're doing a lot of different things, and they're working down that deep cellular level. So that's the heat aspect. Now, in yoga, a big part of the philosophy is this process called Ishnan, which is basically cold therapy. Now, Wim Hof has been an amazing trailblazer at recruiting this information he's the Iceman, so taking people out into cold plunges. This guy swims in glaciers. He does all sorts of crazy things. And it turns out that when we expose our body to extremes in temperature, it actually also influences our gut microbiome. And so why not use a tool that can actually elevate body temperature, use those infrared rays, and then after you get out of the sauna, you jump in the cold shower. And the cold shower has all these other aspects of stimulating hormone production. It actually also encourages a change in the microbiology, but also encourages detoxification. It increases the production of brown adipose tissue, which is essential for healthy metabolism. and you feel phenomenal. So there's this mental resiliency component to the cold shower, cold plunge, or whatever you decide to do that plays a phenomenal role on this variation that we stimulate to our body. So remember, adaptation and survival of our species really depend on our body's ability to adapt. And so when we see these chronic illnesses setting, we know that there's a huge amount of adaptation that's not being stimulated because we're constantly eating every couple hours. We're higher carbohydrates in our meals, high sugar diets, processed foods, denatured fats, non-organic foods, GMOs, whatever. I mean, you know the story. When we keep that program running inside of our bodies, we're driving it towards cellular aging. We're driving it towards illness. So we're more likely to develop cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, and cardiovascular illness. So this is a real phenomenon. So now, on this note too, there was a Finnish study that came out that looked at this long study. It was about 42-year long study. And it looked at men who used, it was men only, as in Finland. Obviously saunas are big over in Scandinavia. So men who use the sauna once a week versus men who use the sauna 2 to 3 times a week, and men who use the sauna 4 to 7 times a week. And what they found in this study was that the men who it all came down to frequency. The more often you use the sauna, the greater the risk of all-cause mortality. And it was also tied into looking at cardiovascular markers, stroke markers, myocardial infarction or heart attack. So that's a direct way to prevent you from getting knocked off sooner than you should by decreasing that cellular age and making your cells more viable, more functional, more adaptable. And this is the modern phenomenon that we've moved away from. We haven't been enticing our bodies through these what's called hormetic stressors to encourage adaptability. Breath, as we talked about yesterday, was another huge component of creating adaptation, which we didn't go into a great deal. So saunas, great tool. It doesn't matter if you have infrared or not. Infrared we encourage just because you can get deeper into that penetration deeper into the body, into the skeletal muscle, into the bone, into that cellular level. And the other nice thing about infrared sauna is the temperature is not going to be quite as high. And so, you can stay in there typically maybe a little bit longer than you would in a regular sauna. Both are fantastic. At the end of the day, you're still creating an amazing mechanism for healing in the body. So that's it for today. Do whatever you can. I mean, you may not have a sauna, you may not have access to a sauna, but we are putting a sauna. We're about to, it's actually going to go in tomorrow, into our clinic. And so that's one of the tools in our longevity circuit that people can access. So you can jump in the sauna, take a cold shower after, do the hyperbaric chamber, get some red light therapy. The whole point is to create this healthy cellular environment that's slowing down aging. So whatever it takes, if all you do going forward right now is the last 30 seconds of your shower, go from hot and turn it to fully cold and just stay there and be in that place, you will feel more resilient because you just did something really hard. And that's the yogic philosophy as well, is build resilience through hormetic stress. You increase that presence and that focus in your mind, and you overcome yourself. You overcome the mind where the mind wants to hold you back. And massively supportive for the immune system. I did a cold water shower as a goal for myself 2 years ago, and I did it straight through. In these Canadian winters, it's not easy to jump in an ice cold bath, or ice cold shower, I should say. And I know there's days where I go to work and I barely feel my fingers. So and I would stay in there sometimes for 7-8 minutes to 10 minutes. So I was definitely in there longer than I would recommend most people. I had to do the experiment though. So for you, if you're just starting, take your normal shower, finish on cold, and just let your body be in that experience and feel the exhilaration. So that's it for now on saunas. Thanks for tuning in. And if you have questions, like I said, reach out, ask us questions, follow us on Facebook. We've got our Dr. Jensen YouTube channel up. All these videos are going to go over there as well. And let us know what you want to know about longevity. There's lots more to come.